I actually barely even knew George. I had known George I sold him a pair of shoes a very long time ago from a mutual friend. Sold him a shoe, we knew of each other. And then randomly one time I had hit him up about a release that was coming out. I forgot. We ended up camping out together. It was 2 weekends in a row that we ended up camping out for something. And then I just randomly was like, oh, he knows about shoes. Yo, you want to help me do this thing that I kind of wanted to do, consignment-wise, like try to sell shoes and stuff? I was like, yeah, cool. Literally went, sat in a Starbucks for a few hours, came up with a name. And then from there, we just built everything that we had. A few shoes that our friends had, we sold it for them, we consigned for them. And then we moved on to buying our own inventory. And then, we got lucky to open up an actual store and then build it from there. You guys know. You guys at the original store. Mainly it's because we're just like everyone else. We like to, get deals and, just buy shit all the time. We're just fucking nonstop buying stuff. So it turned in from us knowing what people wanted and giving them what they wanted. And then, we're locals. We'll hook up the locals with deals. And then, at first, it was really hard. We used to do meetups all the time. 2014, 2015, so early on, we'd go to all the sneaker cons, travel, shit ton of inventory, ship it back. Slowly but surely, when people started finding out about us, they would come to the store. And literally from one day to the next, people just showed up to the store and like, hey, do you want to buy these? I wake up sometimes and I'm like, I feel like I'm unemployed still, It literally feels like that. Because a lot of people know Daily, but believe it or not, there's people that go into that store and don't even know we have this. So we got to tell them, hey, check us out in the back.
I think he just got his food.
Yo, it's that guy that Post Malone put on, dog. Ozzy Osbourne. It's like a rocker and shit, but Post Malone, bro, he put him on, dog.
What did you get to eat, dude?
Drop chop. Can't go wrong with that.
Oh,
With the 7-Eleven slurpee.
How's that first bite?
Nah, I mean, there's not much that we try doing on purpose to be different than any other store. Mm-hmm. We try to offer the lowest price. And this is, for example, this Pink Floyd Music Tour tee. I believe this is from 87. Yeah, 87. And it's $85. So some stores might kill you on this. They might want $150 or maybe even more. But we're trying to just keep everything low price. That way it comes in and it goes out quick. So then we started selling Tommy stuff, just anything that Raul would consign a bunch of his vintage stuff. And we're like, sure, man, you're the only one that wants to consign the vintage stuff, so we'll try it.
I started thrifting in high school and then I slowly, got more pieces, started posting online, selling. It's just like a passion that you have, like the hunt. Like, I love finding pieces out there. Striped, this is literally, this was my size, it would be mine already, but going through stores, trying to find the best piece. Stone Cold, NASCAR, another mixture that I don't think they would collab. It's shit like that in the 90s that they did that I love.
And all his shit will sell. All his shit was damn, $30, 40. You got $40 for this? He's like, yeah, I paid $3 for it.
A year or two after I started thrifting, I started working at Daily.
And every day he'd go thrifting and every day he'd sell shit. So we were like, all right, cool. Then
2 or 3 racks in the old store that just had vintage stuff. I want to say 80% of it is mine when we used to consign vintage.
We moved over to this store because we ran out of space at the shop.
That kicked off for a few months, and then we had to put down the racks because it was taking too much space in the store. So I was just selling my stuff on my own, but I was still working at Daily.
So once we moved down this way, we had the opportunity to open something in this space, and we're like, oh, we could do the vintage store. We've always wanted to sell more vintage stuff, but we didn't have the space for it. So now that we found this space, we were able to work out a deal, and we were like, all right, cool. We'll open just a full-blown vintage store.
So once we moved to this location, 2 or 3 months after we opened this one, we would have a vintage store or space for a vintage store. So I was super already on board with that. We started sourcing all the clothes for months, and then we finally had enough inventory, so they let me run the store. It's been doing good since.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know where anything is in here. I'm never over here. So, Raul, what's this over here? It's wholesome. There's some Limp Bizkit in here. Fred Durst, my guy. Some O-Town. Who doesn't love O-Town? Do you remember the O-Town song? All about nuts. Night nuts. That's all it's about.
For me, I didn't believe in selling vintage stuff in 2016, 2015.
It's pretty cool to look at if you think about it. The time and effort put into that, trying to find all those pieces to curate for the store. It took a while, but it's definitely worth it at the end. It's something for people to look at least, or acknowledge.
Oh, this is dead ass one of my favorite shirts in here. That Batman Returns cartoon style. What year is this? 91? 80 something? Late 80s, early 90s? I forgot when this movie came out.
But there's always people that come in here that, wow, I remember I had that when I was little. It's very nostalgic for a lot of people. So they connect to the store in that way. Oh wow, I used to have that shirt when I was little, or I had that toy when I was little. I remember that. So it's pretty cool to see how people connect to the store. Like,
Stuff from a bunch of different wrestlers. So like something like this, we don't get a lot of, Y2 Jericho stuff. And the same thing, look at the price, bro. $30. Rap tees, music tees. We got some of the more expensive stuff up on the top. This wall here is just like, it's my personal favorite wall just because every shirt for the most part has a dope ass graphic. Album cover or just an image that you know the artist from.
Oh, yeah, we just got this. What's gonna go up later? Oh,
Excellent. And it's got a back piece.
this is just so weird but fire.
The ninth one in the world, dog.
like you said, like people don't really know about us. They just know about Daily. Even though that they do post about us, it's just no one's ever, I guess, liked vintage stuff or maybe just like shoes. But once they give it a shot or they give it a chance, they see and they're like, oh wow, there's actually an appreciation for all this stuff.
It's gonna be our first event. We never did an event for Daily, but an actual event like that, especially a buy-sell trade one, we haven't done to this magnitude, solely yesterday's or dailies. And we feel like it's gonna be a good turnout. What we wanna bring is something different.
The connection is definitely there. Like there's just people that just strictly like shoes, which I get.
Right now, everyone's doing shoe events. Every time you go to an event, there's more and more vintage stuff at the event. So we're like, damn, why don't we just do a vintage event? Maybe it'll be a great turnout. And then that's where the idea kind of came from. People that come to the yesterday store, they don't even go over the daily. They don't care about shoes like that. They just want their cool shirt, their shorts, a toy, whatever. Sick Miami shit that people like, which is like the Hurricane Andrew stuff. This event's gonna be from 8 to midnight. So maybe you work till 7 and you don't have a chance to come out here and you work the weekends or whatever, you got a family. Or in this case, Gators, Florida Gators. We've seen these shirts like where they print huge prints over them, so it was dope that we found one just blank with the actual script on it. Takeaway from it is growth and exposure. Mainly exposure just because we feel like a lot of people don't know that we're here. So if you come through for the event, you'll come through to the store, you'll see the store prices, maybe you'll compare the store prices to the vendor prices, and you'll realize like, okay, these people are selling it for maybe a cheaper price than the vendor, or maybe slightly higher, or way higher, whatever the case may be. Plenty of network opportunities, but that's, any day that we open the doors. But for that event, I feel like it's gonna be a bigger result at the end of it. Yeah. That's not a vintage store. But you see that and it's like, damn, R.I.P. Kimball, and it's old. It's for sure. It's like 2009, 2010. So yeah, this is 2010. So it's 9 years old. But for us, it's more like Kimball, Miami. Gotta have it.
Yeah, it's gonna be this Friday, November 1st. We're gonna have a bunch of vendors selling vintage and stuff. A lot of people that we know that we've met through the store and through yesterday. And yeah, they're gonna have a chance to showcase their stuff and sell their stuff and trade and do all types of stuff. And our store's gonna be open to everybody that comes in, so help spread the word about the store.
All right, so with all that being said, guys, we'd really appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe to our channel, share our videos, tell us we suck on the comments, whatever you guys want. Appreciate it.